What's going on, everybody? My name is Stephen Coons, and welcome to the Everyday Pursuit podcast. All right, this episode's going to be short and fiery for you, but I want to start it off by telling you the title of the episode and also a quote that I really, really love, and I'm going to bring it home to you pretty soon. So the quote is, "The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately." I'm going to say that again. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. Now, I don't know where I heard this. This is not my phrase. I found this online, but I literally have it written down on my board right over there. And I love it because I think we live in a society where people have what I call mental masturbation, right? And I know that sounds really weird. It's not meant to sound perverted or provocative, but it's basically this. People want to pleasure themselves mentally by dreaming of the things they want, but they don't want the work that comes with it. And we see this in basically every area in society, but holy moly, do I see it in fitness. I can't tell you that. I literally think that 98% of people want to look like a certain type of body. Now, I know there's different types of bodies, but almost every guy that I talk to is like, yeah, I want to be kind of lean and an athletic look, and I want some abs. I hear that from literally everybody, right? And I think in society, we kind of have some ideal physiques. The girl would be the smaller waist, the athletic butt, the nice toned legs, flat stomach, big boobs. I'm just saying, those are the ideal physiques, generally speaking. So let's just say that somebody wants that physique. Okay. Now you might have people that are, in the health and fitness industry, or maybe even not so concerned about the physique. Maybe they want health. Okay. So let's take somebody that's healthy. They have great gut health, good skin. Maybe they have really good cardio or flexibility or mobility. Maybe they express in other ways than just, how they look naked. And other people are well, I want to be that flexible, or well, I want really good gut health, or I want beautiful hair. Okay. But what you don't understand is almost every one of those people that have whatever it is you want, there's a story behind every success, right? Every person with good skin, usually they do things to take care of their skin, right? It's their regimen. Oh, I use this. I don't know. I'm not a girl, so I don't know. I use this cream and I use this thing and I shower here and I eat this food. Now I know some of it's just genetics, but there's usually a practice that comes with it. Or oh girl, your hair's so beautiful. My wife has really pretty hair. A lot of people say it. She's oh, I use this product and blah, blah, blah. Sure, genetically she has good hair, but if she didn't take care of it, right? It wouldn't be pretty. So you have to think that if you're so worried about dreaming and getting off on these fantasies of I want to look this much or I want to be this rich, you got to ask yourself if you really want whatever comes with it. And if you don't know, you need to go listen to the episode before this, or maybe it's the one with Coach Mike and I, maybe episode 45. But I talk about be, do, have. And basically for that is you need to say oh, I want to be this. I want to have nice hair. I want to be successful. I want to have abs and whatever. But then you got to look at what the person actually does. Be, do, right? What they do. And, that is usually where we have the biggest misconception, because we look at these people. I'll tell you right now, oh my God, from being an online coach, I can't tell you how many people flex online. You would look at their Instagram followers and think they got 30,000 followers, 50,000, 100,000 followers. They're making $1 million a year, blah, 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 blah. And they're flexing cars and nice stuff. A lot of those people are making not that much online. I know, because I work in this industry. They're really not as balling out as they think. And, it's this flex where other people will look at, so I actually know some coaches and some other people online that are doing really, really, really well. But then people will say oh, I want to be like that, or I want to be like Mr. Beast, right? He's this famous YouTuber. But if you actually talk to people like that, dude, he's I obsess over my job. All I think about is my channel. All I think about is my YouTube, literally 24/7, 365. And so I'm okay, so you might want to be super famous and have millions of subscribers, but are you willing to eat, breathe, and sleep every single day this? Right? Or some people want to look like Mr. Olympia or a bodybuilder, but if you knew the stuff they went through and you knew that was the only way to get there, you would change your dream, right? You can dream all day. You can dream all day long. Go ahead. But you know what dreaming and mental masturbation does for you? it actually sets you up for failure because you're living in a freaking fantasy land. And the thing too is this is how I feel. I feel like the more you dream, not envision, it's different because I think envisioning things come with action. Like, okay, I'm going to be here next year. And then you're not like, that's awesome. And that's fantasy. Like, when you talk about winning the lottery, there's no steps you really need to take to win the lottery besides buying a ticket. Okay. So that's dreaming. Now, do you think dreaming about winning the lottery is kind of fun sometimes, right? Like, it's like, oh, what would you do if you won? Oh, I'd do this. Okay. That's okay. But what if you were to like think that every day? Do you think that would start like eating at you? I know for me, it would. I'd be like obsessing over it and then thinking about like what I could do. And it would probably be frustrating because I know that my odds are really, really, really extremely low and I can't really do anything. And I'd probably skew my perspective on what I did have and make me a little more ungrateful. And, I just think it would cause a lot of negative things. So for me, I don't want to sit there and become a dreamer because I think a dreamer doesn't look for solutions on how to fulfill the dream. They don't look for the hustle and they don't accept the hustle. They are the people that go, it must be nice to fill in the blank, right? It must be nice. Oh, they're so rich. It must be nice. Oh, they're in super good shape. It must be nice. And what that does is it takes validation away from the hard work the person put in. And I hear this a lot in the fitness industry. And I will say, as a coach and somebody that has a relatively nice physique, it's super annoying when people say, it must be nice. I'm like, yeah, it must be nice to wake up early and eat the foods that I don't want to sometimes and train regardless of how I feel and work and program myself and stick to something and blah, 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 like, right? So it's like you looking at somebody, they drive up next to you in a sick ass Corvette and you're like, man, it must be nice. But like, you have no idea what that person's background looks like. And we are judgmental human beings. I get it. We do that. But like, maybe you wouldn't want that Corvette if you knew what came with it. And this is I'm not saying this is what people that drive Corvettes are, but just let's say, what if that person was loaded? What if they had $1 million? But what if getting that $1 million, they had to work for 10 years, 6 or 7 days a week. They had 2 failed marriages. They had a bad relationship with their kids. Would you do it now? Most people would be like, no, that's not worth it. Okay, cool. And it's the same thing. I actually had this talk with my son today about this exact quote because he said something that, he's 12. So he's like, yeah, money. He knows money's not the most important thing, but he made a comment about it. Like, oh, well, it's about getting more money. It's about getting more money. I go, well, no, it's not. Because let me ask you a question. Let's say I'm going to give you $1 million a day, but you had to have a pretty terminal sickness where you had to like really struggle to just like do basic movements every single day. But I'll give you $1 million a day. Would you do it? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, so you value health more than you do money, right? He's like, well, I guess. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to also give you $1 million a day, but you have to die in 3 years. Would you do it? He's like, well, no. I was like, okay, so you value time more than money. Let me tell you something else. I give you $1 million a day, but me and your mom, we have to die. Would you do it? He's like, no. I was like, so you value time, health, and relationships more than money, right? Now, why I'm telling you that is a light bulb clicked and he's like, wow. And I'm like, yeah. So we look at these dreams, but we don't want the work that comes with it, right? Now, obviously that's like a totally made up scenario, but sometimes the dreams are a fallacy. Sorry. They're not real. They're literally just a dream. But if you knew the work that had to come with it, you might not want to do it. And if you do, if you want the Envision, if you want the whole shebang, if you want to actually have the thing, make the goal, you better know what work comes with it. You better know and you better prepare. And I can tell you from somebody that is a small business owner and literally started from the ground and had been working really, really hard the past couple of years. I knew from the get-go, I'm so grateful. I knew from the get-go exactly what the hustle was going to be by getting a coach and asking, what was your journey like? And they're like, oh, I had to do this. I had to work all this. And don't worry, your clients are going to do this and people will miss payments, blah, blah, all these things. And so when it happened, I just like took it so much better. I even had a conversation with my family. I was like, look, for the first couple of years, I'm going to be working like a mad dog. I know it's going to feel like I'm gone. I love you. Like I got to have that talk to protect our relationship. And I knew all that was going to come with it. And guess what? We do the same thing with our clients. We go, hey, not that we're going to flip your life upside down, but things are going to change. You are going to be going to the gym. You're going to have a talk with your spouse. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to have to can you take care of the kids? Or if you don't have a spouse, you're like, hey, well, maybe your partner, or I guess if you're single, you don't have to answer to anybody, but maybe your partner, you're like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. We're going to be eating a little bit different. Like, I'm going to be prioritizing this, and you kind of know what to expect. So you understand that the dream isn't just a dream. You bought both of them. You bought the dream, but you bought the freaking hustle too, because they never ever go separately. Now they're sold separately, but you can't really get the dream without the hustle. One thing you can do though, and this is extremely important, you can get the hustle without the dream. And those are the people that don't have an action plan. They're just working, and they're working hard, but they have no proven plan, and they're just doing random shit. That's the real truth. I see this with people in the gym all the time. They're like, well, I want the dream, right? And then they go to the hustle, but they're like a square peg in a circle cutout, right? Like they don't go together, right? And so it's like, okay, so yeah, you want the abs, you want the good body, you want whatever, but what you're doing is like not that. And it's not going to get you that. And they're like, but I'm hustling, I'm grinding. I'm like, yeah, but the wrong way. You could grind a little less and hustle a little less, but do it the right way and have more of the dream outcome. Something I've realized too with, like especially like when I was like getting in prep shape for like when I was doing fitness modeling and stuff like that, is there are no real shortcuts. Like I know we hear that, and I know it's freaking cliche to say, and we just like, yeah, it's cringy for me to say it, but it is true. There's really no shortcuts in life. Yeah, there's people that are, dealt better cards, and some people get really lucky. I understand that. But for the vast majority of people, there's only like one way to be successful. And that is to have a dream, to know the action steps to get there. And you can discover them on your own. You don't always need to hire a coach, but I mean, like, if I had to do it over again 10 times, I would do the same thing I already did. I'd get expert help from somebody that's already done it and already been there, because my time's really valuable to me, right? More valuable than money. Thus the point I had with my son. And because of that, I would get help from the beginning. Okay. And then one thing I would also do is realize that the plan and the hustle needs to match up. Now, like I said, if you want to avoid that mistake, that's where you say, okay, cool. I have this dream. I know I'm going to have to hustle. Which hustle do I do? And that's where the expert comes in. Now you could do it on your own, but what I see a lot in people that are getting in shape is they know it's going to be a lot of work, and they hustle on like different things. Like, oh, I'll try this diet, and I'll try this, and I'll try this, and I'll try this. And so their perceived effort's really high. And so their perceived frustration's very high. They're like, I've tried all these things and nothing works and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you're doing the wrong thing the whole time though. Like, of course you're upset. You did the wrong thing 10 times. I would be pissed too. Versus if you realize that the map, the roadmap was just wrong the whole time. If I could tell you, oh, well, that you're just doing the wrong thing, maybe you wouldn't even be upset. Like, well, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. But it's still a grind. It's still a hustle. Every single day, I feel like I'm hustling and grinding, but you need to make the journey fun. You need to make the journey fun. If the journey of like being in shape, getting in shape and staying in shape is boring to you, yeah, you'll be super unsuccessful. Like every entrepreneur that I know that loves entrepreneurship is the most financially successful. It lights them on fire. They're passionate about it. They love their business. They like working. Like literally, I love to work. I love like this right now is actually kind of fun to me, believe it or not. I like it. So I'm not fighting demons in my head. Like, oh, I don't want to do this and this sucks. Like I'm literally looking forward to recording these podcasts. So for me, I know I'll be successful because I have passion and drive, and I'm excited to do this. And I will always outwork another person that in the back of their head, it's miserable for them. So it's the same thing with exercise. If it sucks for you, you need to find something that doesn't suck. It might always kind of a little bit suck, but it needs to get less sucky and better, because it's only a matter of time. Like who's gonna be in shape, right? Like who's gonna be in shape more between somebody that really likes exercise or somebody that doesn't like exercising? Like it's pretty obvious, right? So it's kind of turning the framework of liking the hustle, enjoying the hustle, making sure you have a plan that fits with the dream, because they are sold separately, but they should be sold together in a package from somebody that has already done the hustle and gotten the dream you want. So hopefully this episode was fire. Hopefully it helped you. Hopefully it laid some things out for you where you can kind of understand what I'm saying and set a freaking game plan, because I want that dream to come true for you. I really, really, really do. And I strongly believe you could do it, but you got to know the hustle comes with it and you got to do the right one. So I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys next time.